watching Fox 17 News This Morning.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Scott Couch. Fox 17 News continuing coverage live through 7 o'clock tonight as we continue to follow and chronicle the devastation left behind by what we believe is a series of tornadoes that moved across Middle Tennessee early yesterday morning. Footage from across the mid-state giving us a glimpse of the power of this dangerous storm, which we know so far has killed 24 people. That is at least. In the last 24 hours, the death toll has actually been downgraded from 25 to 24. We have team coverage for you, me and my colleagues teaming up all day long. We've got crews all over the viewing area. Melanie, if you'll move up there, talking to survivors across Middle Tennessee, plus learning about ways you can help. You know, initially when things happen, you're stunned, as many of the victims were. Now we're getting into Middle Tennessee. We are volunteer mode. We want to see what we can do to help. We can tell you that 22 people are still missing in Putnam County after the storms early yesterday. Yesterday, that number was at 77. Slowly, as people have been identified, they've come forward and say, you know, we are accounted for. So that number's down. We have also identified all of the 18 victims who were killed in the hardest hit area, that being Putnam County. That list sadly includes children. Putnam County, one of the areas, as we say, hit the hardest. We have 4 mid-state counties that were just blasted. It started in Benton County, moved into Davidson County, then into Wilson County, and then touched down again hard in a couple of different areas in Putnam County. Fox 17 News' Nikki Jenowitz has been speaking with people with some incredible stories of survival, and she brings us now an update from Putnam County.
Putnam County hit the hardest in the entire state of Tennessee from these horrific tornadoes that just came crashing through. The homes here in a subdivision along Plunk-Whitson Road have just been leveled. Take a look at this house behind me here. I'm joined now by the homeowner, Jose Kojum. Jose, can you walk us through your home and show us what happened here and how it makes you feel?
Yes, of course. So this area here used to be like the garage. As you can see, there's nothing left but the floor. And this entrance here is the kitchen.
Can we come inside with you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see the kitchen where, I mean, everything collapsed on top of it. Just,
oh my gosh.
As you can see, this is a disaster, you know. And as you can see here in this area is our dining room and living room. In this area you can see there's, like I say, there's nothing left anymore.
It's incredible to see this.
Yes.
Jose, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
When you look at all of this and you see what used to be your family's home, what do you think about? How does it make you feel?
It really upset me, but what most important is my family is safe and everything. But at the same time, really sad because we lost, you know, people also. And you look around how much you've been work so hard to build, like, come on, have you dream, have your own house, and like you lose everything in about less than a minute. So it's really sad.
But you really do have a wonderful perspective there, though, about what really matters, and that is that your family is safe. And,
yeah.
And Jose, I'm so glad your family is safe. I'm so sorry that this happened to your home.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to show us your home here today. Again, this is Jose Kojum. He lives here along Plunk-Whitson Road. This is a subdivision in Putnam County that was hit very hard by the systems that happened overnight on Tuesday. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yes. Back to you.
Nikki, thank you. Right now, this is a look from the Fox 17 News Sky Eye over Hermitage here in Davidson County. That the Kroger area right on Old Hickory Boulevard, just over from Summit Hospital. The damage you can see, number of businesses, a shopping complex there off OHB, roofs of the Fifth Third Bank, Petco ripped off, cars in the parking lot at the Kroger store flipped over. That the work of an EF3 tornado. Fox 17 News' Rachel Teedy has been in both Hermitage and Mount Juliet today, getting a closer look at damage that we weren't even able to get to yesterday. The very latest on the cleanup in those areas underway as well. Rachel?
The damage at West Wilson Middle School is extensive. Take a look at this behind me here. You can see the debris just littering the grass here. The windows are blown in. The ceiling has caved in. The rubble on the roof there is just warped metal at this point. Now, this side of the building is severely damaged. The other side of the building remains relatively unscathed, but the damage is so extensive that this school is not going to be able to reopen for the rest of the school year. That's also the case with Stoner Creek Elementary. I reached out to the public information officer myself and confirmed that within the last 2 hours or so. Now, if we look across the street here, not only are we dealing with extensive traffic as well, but damaged homes, home after home after home, rubble, caved-in buildings here. We were able to show you some drone footage of these damaged homes too, and volunteers, you're able to see the cars lining the streets, the volunteers showing up to help put their lives back together after all of this. Now, for some people, their lives will never return to normal after this storm, but the community really coming together to try to make it as best as they can. Of course, we're going to continue to bring you updates here at Fox 17 throughout the day. For now, reporting at West Wilson, Rachel Teedy, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Rachel, thank you. Fortunately, Mother Nature cooperating again today as we told you that it would. That's very, very helpful as cleanup efforts begin. You know, it's times like this when Tennessee proves why we are officially nicknamed the volunteer state. Hands on Nashville, which really came into its own 10 years ago. This month, quite frankly, after the historic Nashville flood, has had more than 5,000 people sign up to volunteer to help out with this natural disaster. Places like the Community Resource Center, the United Way, Humane Association are all accepting donations. I know the mayor is suggesting that you reach out and make a donation to the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee. You can also give money to food charities like Second Harvest Food Bank. You give them $1, they can make it go a lot further than you can at the grocery store. Also, the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army, who are hands and feet on the ground to many of these victims. We have an entire list of ways that you can help out and bona fide charities where you can make a donation right now at our website, fox17.com. And as we go to break, our Fox 17 news editor Abigail Pace brings you a look at how the community has come together during this devastation.
People that have come out to help and volunteer, everybody is pitching in to help and repair everything and clean up. It's been amazing how awesome this community is.
I mean, it looks like a war zone.
You could hear the tornado go right through.
Words can't describe. There's people out here I hadn't talked to in years, but they're here today.
I've never, ever seen anything like this. It's just unbelievable.
Seeing everybody come together, I'm even prouder to be here in Nashville.
Welcome back, everybody. It is 12:11. I'm Scott Couch. You are locked into continuing coverage here on Fox 17 News all the way through 7 o'clock tonight as we chronicle the devastation and the spirit that is emerging from the rubble all over Middle Tennessee where people suffered tornado damage. Right now, let's go to Fox 17 News. Erica Glover, who is in North Nashville, one of those areas that we were not in heavily yesterday. Tell me where you are and what you're seeing there.
Well, Scott, right now we're walking through North Nashville with Mayor John Cooper and then Pastor Love from Lee Chapel just surveying the damage. And I'm going to turn our camera around just for a little bit to show you the destruction that we are seeing here in North Nashville. You see people just going through the rubble, trying to salvage whatever they can, but block after block, that is what we are seeing here in North Nashville. You hear a lot of chainsaws, you see people passing out water, walking around with pizza, trying to help each other out. It's very emotional. There's a lot of destruction, a lot more than I saw necessarily yesterday, because we are walking around now with people who are going through everything that was inside of their home. I'm going to walk a little bit further up to show you what we're seeing here, and we'll of course pan over. You see down power lines, you see tree limbs everywhere, wood, home insulation, all of that. We are following the mayor. He's going door to door, speaking with different homeowners, asking them what exactly are they experiencing, what do they need, what can he do to help them, to assist them, where can they go next from here. So we're going to walk over here a little bit, speak with people who are trying to help with the process. Can we ask you a couple of questions real quick? How are you feeling today? I see you out here working hard.
I mean, getting it done, you know. It's a slow process. There's a lot going on, but I don't know, one little piece at a time.
One little piece at a time. That's something that we're hearing a lot. How long have you been out here today?
I was out here yesterday, and then I called in and came out here, 8 or 9, something like that.
How long have you called this community home? Do you live in North Nashville?
I used to live right up there on 16th Street. I moved like 6 months ago, something like that, and then this happened, so I came back to help.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us. But again, right now the mayor is going door to door. We started with him up at Lee Chapel at the church, and then just walking around this community, surveying the damage that I really just can't put into words. And unless you're walking around here, you don't really get a sense of everything that we're seeing. I mean, tree limbs that are just covering the driveways, the roads, the sidewalks, shattered glass. Definitely want to mention that Lee Chapel is taking donations and also passing out donations. So we saw a line of people who gathered whatever they could, non-perishable food items. They're dropping it off. They also have food out there, a buffet line that they have set up for anyone who is in need right now. If you're taking a break from the cleanup process, if you just want to come over there to pray, to grab a water bottle, they have that for you. They're also making bags full of essential items. They have that set up inside the church, so that's definitely a good resource for everyone to know about. We're going to walk over. I see Reverend Love. See if we can grab him for a quick interview. And be careful where we're walking right now. Can we ask you, oh, I almost slipped. Can I ask you a couple questions right now? Leave our mic. Let's walk over here. A lot going on, as you can imagine, so we'll try to get into a little quieter space. So right now you're walking around with the mayor. We'll keep walking here. What's going through your mind as you're seeing all this damage?
Well, this is why I wanted to have the mayor come down so we could actually see the homes of the folks who lived here. The destruction. This man has a tree in his house. He's been here more than 30 years, and we need to understand that when we talk about recovery and rebuilding for North Nashville, he needs to see what you can't see from the street.
That's a really good thing to point out, because a lot of people aren't seeing this from the outside. It's only when you're walking through these streets, let's walk a little bit further up, that you're really seeing the damage that I just can't even put into words. I just moved here about a year ago.
Right. So I've been here all my life, born in North Nashville, live in North Nashville. And the issue you got to realize is this. So you got clothes in the house, right? You got valuables in the house. So as you're talking about removing a tree, you're talking about demolishing the structure, you also must go through the process of cataloging what you have and putting those things some other place. So where do you go? You got a car right there that obviously is running but not really running as it should. So you're talking about people who can't go to work, folks who can't just wait for an insurance adjuster. And that's the important thing about coming down here and seeing what people are living through. And we're just grateful that the Lord's blessed us with good weather. So as we go through these recovery efforts, we have the ability to work without the rain coming down.
What do you want people to know about what your congregation is doing right now at the church? I saw a long line of people dropping stuff off. You have food over there, bags of items that people desperately need right now.
Right. So not just for the folks who live here as they are trying to get their lives back together, but also for the volunteers who come out. We're providing food. We're providing flashlights for those who are working beyond the sun being up as they work into the night, and allowing people to come by, get supplies. There's also a section of North Nashville where it's not the destruction of a home, but it's the power being out, and they don't have items that can be refrigerated. So we're also out there to collect items. We're there to help staff volunteer efforts so folks will know where to go. That's why we come down here and find out which streets need most help so we can send folks to a certain area. We don't want folks just to come down and not be able to help out.
And ultimately, we have to stick together throughout this process, which is going to take a long time.
That's why we're here, because we know that it's not a sprint. This is a marathon. It's going to take quite a long time. Like it did in 2010 when the flood hit, it took a long time to recover. Same thing with this.
All right. Thanks so much for speaking with us. We'll continue to follow you.
Thank you.
All right. So, again, we're going to continue following Reverend Love and then Mayor John Cooper out here. And we'll continue to post updates on the Fox Nashville Facebook page, on Twitter, on Instagram, just doing whatever we can to let our community know what resources are available. Reporting live from North Nashville, I'm Erica Glover with Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Erica, thank you. I know it's comforting for the people in North Nashville to see Harold Love. In addition to being a pastor in that area, he's also, of course, a state representative and has the mayor's ear and got the mayor over there. This is a look at the NES Power Map. It's by no means a great picture. However, it is one that is slowly improving. I mean, I think when I left last night around 10:30, there were still 35, very nearly 36,000 people without power. And if you look at the very top number there, 33,567 as of 12:15. So that was as of roughly 3 minutes ago. If you'll notice on the map, the bulk of the people that are still without power, there's some in North Nashville, quite a few dots there in the Germantown area in the inner downtown loop, and quite a few over in East Nashville, along with across the river over in the Opryland area where we know that the Donaldson Christian Academy area got hit hard. That's some of the places where we still do not have power. There are pockets elsewhere, but that's where the biggest congregation of those things are right now. Well, several facilities have now opened their doors to those people in need, talking about people needing shelter. You'll see some of the places where they are. Centennial Sportsplex over in the West End area. East High School there on Gallatin Road, that 5 Points area, hard hit, and that school just a few blocks away. The Hadley Park Community Center, just a couple of blocks from Tennessee State University in North Nashville, and Holy Rosary in Hermitage. Now, in Putnam County, you can go to the First Baptist Church on Walnut Street in Cookeville. Our Harriet Wallace was there last night. They've got food, they've got places for you to clean up, and they've got places for you to lie down, blankets from the Red Cross, and stuffed animals for the kids who may have been displaced. In Wilson County, Victory Baptist Church, Mount Juliet, and Highland Heights Church of Christ in Lebanon, all open right now for people in need. And Planet Fitness is opening its doors for people impacted by the storms. They say you can use their showers, their locker rooms, their gym facilities to maybe get a little exercise and work off a little stress. That's without getting a membership. They've got 13 local Planet Fitness locations, and storm victims can use all of those. We have a list for you of each of those locations on screen right now, but the easier thing for you to do if you think you might want to take advantage of that is go to our website, fox17.com, one-stop shopping for all of your resources. Right now, let's talk about Fox 17 weather. Alan Seals back with us. Thanks again for coming up from Mobile, Alabama to help us, through this thing. The Reverend Love mentioned a moment ago, you probably heard it, at least we're not dealing with bad weather as we walk around and try to get some work done. And the weather has been a blessing because this is unseasonably warm for us.
It is going to stay like this through tomorrow. And then we're going to see the temperatures dipping down a bit. So a nighttime chill going into the weekend. But other than that, the weekend's looking good and dry. Your sky's looking good, but it doesn't tell the whole picture. You know the rest of the story. You've been seeing it for the last 24 plus hours. People are cleaning up. People are trying to put things back together. The weather, fortunately, is cooperating. Our afternoon sky will kind of keep this same look. High clouds, thin clouds, not rain clouds, and not storm clouds, and that's exactly what we need in this situation. If you're traveling south later today into Alabama, that's where the active weather is. That's where it's going to stay, even though you see some of the clouds brushing through mid-Tennessee. Storms will stay there, moving to the east, bypassing us. It's not a concern here. And your temperatures, they're doing pretty good. If you look across the range in Cookeville, 60 degrees. Columbia is 61. A little bit warmer as you head to Clarksville at 66 degrees, and we have a fairly gentle wind. Go back to yesterday, and this is a large area that is still being assessed by the National Weather Service. Already a bunch of tornadoes have been surveyed and confirmed, but what we don't know at this point is whether it was one or two long track tornadoes that touchdown, moved up, touchdown, moved up. We do know that many of them were pretty powerful, like the one in Mount Juliet, and EF3, same thing for the one in East Nashville. You look at those wind speeds, 150, 160 miles an hour. That's stronger than a Category 5 hurricane, so put it in perspective. Later today, hopefully we'll be able to connect more of the dots, but either way, the damage has been done. In your forecast for tonight, much like last night, it'll be lower 40s for most of metro Nashville. Once you get a little bit farther northward into Kentucky, you'll find those temperatures into the mid to upper 30s. So a little bit more of a chill there, but a quiet night and also a dry night. Here's your future track, your forecast from now moving through this afternoon into this evening and tonight. Just clouds. That's a good thing. 7 o'clock this evening, a quiet pattern, thicker clouds as you move farther southward toward the Alabama state line. And then toward tomorrow morning, rush hour, same story. Clouds, clear, sort of filtered sunshine. You might see a light shower in Lewisburg, Tullahoma moving through tomorrow afternoon, but nothing substantial. And then we really clear out as we head toward the weekend. But at the same time, that's when that colder air comes in. Your extended forecast. 53 for a high on Friday, but look at Friday night, 31 degrees. So a light freeze on Friday night. And then for Saturday, mid-50s. Sunday, not too bad in the mid-60s. Once we get to Monday and Tuesday, rain coverage does start to increase. So folks with damaged roofs, you're going to be watching that.
Alan, thank you. Hopefully we'll get some more tarps up today to protect things that have not yet been damaged from damage. This is a live look over downtown. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will take you over to East Nashville to see what's changed in the last 12 hours or so and the prospect for getting some power restored in some of those hard-hit areas. You're watching Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather station. Well, amid all this destruction, the iconic I Believe in Nashville mural is still standing over in East Nashville on Woodland Street. Pictures of it going viral. That mural at the Basement East often has long lines of people standing up to get pictures beside it. The creator of that mural, Adrian Saporita, taking a moment on Instagram to reflect on the inspiration of his painting. He says he got the inspiration during the Nashville flood 10 years ago this month after seeing so many businesses and neighborhoods that had been ravaged rebuild. Adrian says that he is hoping that the standing mural will remind people of Music City's resilience and the hope that we have for the days and the months to come. We will come back from this. Fox 17 News, Kathleen Jacob is live in East Nashville. Kathleen, you make East Nashville your home. You spent the day there yesterday. Tell us where you are, what the journey was like from your place to this location today.
Right now we're at 19th and Holly, and I'll tell you, my street is nowhere close to what I'm seeing here. I'm here with Winston right now, who's lived here for 42 years. And Winston, tell me a little bit. I'll show people in a second, but how are you coping right now?
Right now, it's heartbreaking. It's truly heartbreaking to know that we've been here 42 years, and I thank God so much that we've had the blessings we've had, but it just goes to show you that it can be gone just within seconds. Mm-hmm. And I thank God, and I've got to thank God personally so much for sparing my life and my wife's, because right there is where we was at.
And that mattress.
On this side of the bed right there, sleep. And then when the horns went off, well, a few minutes later they quit. And I thought, well, it's over. It's okay. And man, it all started falling apart. And all I could do was grab my wife. I grabbed my wife, rolled over, grabbed the side of the mattress, and I felt like it was a vacuum pulling us out of the house. And all at once, everything just fell in. And I thank God that you can see there how far it come out of the house with us on it. And when we got stopped, our heads were right here at the top of this corner of the mattress here. And I just thank God so much that he spared our lives where so many others were so unfortunate. But I thank God we are alive, and hey, we can rebuild.
And I've seen you hug multiple neighbors. A lot of your neighbors are in this same position. What has it been like with them today?
They are all devastated as I am, and I mean, we're all going to pull together and build the community back all around in here that I've all heard about, that's going to pull together. And we are one community up here that I thank God so much for, that love one another up here, and we get along with one another. and just so satisfied that, hey, we have a wonderful neighborhood. Neighbors, friends, everything else up here. And I can't thank them all enough. If I could go around and find every one of them, I could hug them from daylight to dark of what it's meant to us. It's something else.
Now, I know you were telling me, obviously right now, you don't know where you're going to go or what you're doing. What is, I guess, what is next? How do you move on?
I really, right now, I don't know. We've tried to get a place right now. Everything's pretty well taken from, different things. And then our vehicles all destroyed. And all the vehicles everywhere. We can't get a vehicle or nothing to get around or anything, so I don't know. We're just right now at a standstill, just at a standstill.
Well, I am so sorry, Winston. I know that I cannot imagine what you're going through and what your family and your neighbors are going through, and I am just thankful that you guys are alive, and I'm thankful that you're able to talk to us. So
thank you so much. I mean, I'm sorry choking up and all here, but Lord, it's a blessing to even be standing here to be alive.
No, don't be sorry for any of that. I think anyone understands and would expect nothing less. So I appreciate you, and we'll all get through this together.
We appreciate the media and everybody else, and that y'all are all with us to, back all of this up and let everybody see what's happening. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Thank you, Winston. I appreciate that.
Bless your heart. Thank you, sweetheart. Bless your heart.
Yeah. So that's kind of a lot of what we're seeing here in East Nashville, especially down here on 19th. I mean, a lot of these homes are the same as Winston's and his wife and his wife's daughter. It's just devastation. So this is something that, of course, I think we're going to keep hearing throughout the day and keep seeing more and more of. But I think Winston said it best when he mentioned the community and people coming together and helping each other, and that is also what we're seeing, which is amazing. And of course, we'll keep getting back to you guys and let you know more. But this is going to be a big effort, and it's going to take a long time to rebuild. Live in East Nashville, Kathleen Jacob, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Welcome back to our continuing live coverage of the tornadoes that struck Middle Tennessee early yesterday morning. Germantown, one of the many areas that was hard hit, that is still essentially without power. I'm not sure anybody in Germantown has power right now. Fox 17 News' Stacey Case back in Germantown. Live, Stacey, tell us where you are, and I assume things are improving a smidge from yesterday?
Just a little bit, piece by piece by piece. Yeah, no power at all. We're on Monroe Street. You see the line still hanging down here. We're trying to keep our distance from them. Monroe Street intersects with Rosa Parks. That's the main road going into downtown, also known as 8th Avenue. This is what we keep seeing over and over and over. If you all can wheel your cart up here, so many kind-hearted, loving people coming out to help. Who are you all? Where are you from? And what are you doing?
We are a group of teachers from Hattie Cotton Elementary and East Nashville, but we heard that Germantown needed a lot of support as well, so we're here, and we went to Kroger and got what supplies we could, and we're just trying to help out.
What all do you have in here?
We
the
have
basics, toilet paper, that's great.
Toilet paper, fruit, paper towels, lots of water, liquid, and things like that, just things that people could use, so. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate what you're doing. This is awesome. The whole crew. There we are. Thank you all. Yeah, this is great.
Thank you. Yeah, we just want to help out how we can. Thank you.
Every little bit helps. It truly does take everybody pulling together. And you know who I ran into out here? Ran into Matthew Charles. You all will remember him. He's been in the news a lot over the last year and a half because of an order signed by President Trump in criminal justice reform. He was able to be freed from prison last January 2019. He was in prison for how many years?
22 years total.
22 for a nonviolent drug offense. So he was freed under this criminal justice reform push that we've seen over the last several years. And you're out here today. Tell us what you have in your hand, where you got it, and what you're doing.
This is a chainsaw. Actually, I was out yesterday doing some help, and then I decided I wanted to come out early this morning to help some other people, and me and a friend was like, well, why don't you go and rent a chainsaw?
Because all you had was what?
Yesterday I had a broom, a shovel, a dustpan, and an axe.
And that's it?
Well, actually,
You could do some effective work with that.
Oh, definitely. So, I'm in the fitness, so physically I was able to move some things without those things that just needed to be moved because it actually blocked people's cars from being able to be moved or them from being able to come out their houses. So, just physical labor. And then today got up at 6:30 this morning, went down to Home Depot and rented a chainsaw.
How much was that?
It cost $68 for today. It's like $48 for 4 hours and $68 for the day.
All right, so you're an example for others. We have a lot of people calling Fox 17 News. We have people emailing us, texting us, social media. What can I do? Where do I need to go? How can I help? We just saw an example of the teachers behind you, and then you as a single individual went out, rented a chainsaw with your own money. You showed up here. You're covered in sawdust. Awesome. This is a great tangible way that people can help. And how many trees have you cut down today already?
I would say plenty, several trees. The thing about it is I'm glad to see actually people coming out because Nashvillians are resilient. We are a community, and I'm just glad to see everybody coming out pitching in. And then, like I said, people can do different things. I'm not saying that the women can't run a chainsaw, but still people need things like something, swept off for them to help get things situated because people got to move out of these places because some of them, they're going to be condemned now. There was a house on 11th Avenue knocked back nearly 50 to 100 feet off of its foundation. So that house is no longer any good. So those people are going to need some help with somebody assisting them in moving their property from one place to another.
And this is your neighborhood?
Yes, this is my neighborhood, North Nashville.
You've been through quite a lot yourself, and these people are going through quite a lot themselves. Two totally different situations. But what would you say to them in terms of going through hard times, pulling through, coming out on the other side?
I would say, first of all, being a Christian, I would say continue to have faith in God. But also I would tell them just to continue to rest in hope. We know that Governor Bill Lee, who is a great governor and friend of mine, is here to help them to rebuild or whatever needs to be done. So I just tell them this, to continue on in faith, continue in hope, and we're going to make it through this.
And I've heard you say many times as we've interviewed you on Fox 17 News, you have chosen not to be bitter. You've chosen not to be bitter about spending that long in prison for a drug offense. And what would you say to the people here who've lost everything? It's hard. These are a lot of emotions that have to be processed and dealt with. It's hard not to be bitter.
Well, I would say based on in the state that they're necessarily in right now, they're hurt, they're disheartened, they're depressed because their livelihoods are gone. But I would also say not equating it to what I went through because these people entire livelihoods are gone, everything that they work for, some of them don't have family and friends that can help support them because that's there. But I just tell them that the outcome can still be better than what they're going through now. They still have their lives. A lot of people sadly lost their lives because of this as well. And our hearts and everything, condolences go out to those families. But they're still living. So as long as they still have breath in their body, there's still hope.
Matthew Charles, thank you so much for spending some time with us, and get back to work. I know you were headed down the street to cut some more trees off of people's homes and cars. Thank you. Great to meet you. Mm-hmm. All right, we will send it back to Scott in the studio now. I'm Stacey Case reporting live for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station in Germantown.
Stacey, thank you. Great to see people like Matthew Charles picking up a chainsaw and going in to help his neighbors. Right now, Metro schools are closed for today. They were closed yesterday as well. Wilson County schools closed not only today, the rest of the week. Smith County, Putnam County schools closed the rest of the week. And there are many other school systems that have some closures right now. WeGo Public Transit in Nashville, regular service right now, but you see the WeGo Star train that runs from Wilson County into Nashville daily is not running. So before you jump on any public transportation that you normally use, check and make sure it is still running. Our website's a great place to go. Just go and check on the school closings. That's what I do. Donaldson Christian Academy hit hard, closed today and certainly the rest of the week. They're now looking at off-site locations where they could continue this school year. That's one of the places that the tornadoes touched down, that we were able to give you a sky-eye look at that area. This is in Donaldson. The Stones River is right on the backside there. See those trees? Right on the other side of the school there on those trees is the Stones River. And you can see the parts of the school seems like they're in okay shape, but so many other parts have absolutely been stomped on and destroyed. So this is Donaldson Christian Academy. We'll continue to touch base with those folks and find out where they will be able to continue the school year, and we'll let you know as soon as we find out. Our live continuing coverage continues right after this. You're watching Fox 17 News in Nashville, your Code Red weather station. It's 12:46. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Scott Couch, anchoring our continuing coverage of the devastation caused by tornadoes, a series of them that moved through Middle Tennessee early yesterday morning while some of you slept. North Nashville, one of the areas we are getting into today off of D.B. Todd Boulevard, seeing some of the homes damaged there and the efforts to help those folks. Fox 17 News' Erica Glover live in North Nashville. Erica, looks like some people are working hard on a foundation behind you.
Scott, they are hard at work. And imagine this right behind us used to be a home, and right now they are sweeping up whatever they can. It is down to the foundation, as you just said. I just met the homeowner, Valerie, correct? Yeah. Valerie, how are you feeling at this moment?
Blessed. In spite of. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Is it hard to put into words looking at your home in this state right now?
Yeah. Well, yes, it is, but I know that God is good, and I'm just thankful for everyone who has stepped in and is trying to help, because it's hard. It's really hard.
I see the tears in your eyes. And what do you want us to know about this North Nashville community? Because I've seen people walking around passing out water and coming together and helping each other.
It is a community. It is a community. We're resilient. And we're gonna, so many people who even don't even live in North Nashville who've come, and they're just helping. And we're not just resilient, but we're appreciative. And I just hope that everyone is able to thank God for just being here and being able to push through it and move on.
Thank you so much, Valerie, for speaking with us. And we're going to continue to be out here in North Nashville sharing those important stories. You know what I also want to point out? These volunteers, they don't know each other. They are from different churches, different organizations, some from Music Row, but all of them coming out here, getting their mask on, and just shoveling, cutting, passing out water, doing whatever they can to truly make a difference in this community. We earlier saw the Nashville Sounds. They were out here driving around, passing out water, volunteering. We also saw Jack White with the white stripes, if I'm correct, photographer? Yes, we saw him. He didn't want to even go on camera. He just wants to be out here and get involved and make a difference. And that's what matters. So for right now, we're going to stay out here in North Nashville, but reporting live from North Nashville, I'm Erica Glover with Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Erica, thank you. Our coverage continues in just a moment. You're watching Fox 17 News. Well, lots of people are coming out in Germantown to help those who are dealing with the extreme damage. Folks are continuing to return to that area today to try to get some belongings. Fox 17 News' A.J. Hilton here to share how they are making a team effort.
Good afternoon. We are in the Hope Gardens neighborhood. I want you to take a look at Hopewell Baptist Church. This is a church that's been standing since 1876. That's what a senior member of the church told me. He said right now the church community is looking for and trying to figure out where they are going to be holding their services this coming Sunday, because he knows that they cannot do it here. As you take a look at the gentleman on the top of the roof, we understand that insurance adjuster is out here this morning trying to assess some of the damage, but you can see this church, it is absolutely totaled. Want to let you know that they are making making progress in this neighborhood, also in the Buena Vista neighborhood, also in the Germantown neighborhood when it comes to power. Take a look behind me over here. Those are NES crews that are hard at work working to restore power. This is along Monroe Street, one of the hardest hit areas. That's the Kroger in the background that you can see, and crews are working around the clock. They say they're going to work until they can't work anymore to make sure that all of Nashville and the Mid-State has power. For now, we are in Hope Gardens. AJ Hilton, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
AJ, thank you. Another hard-hit area, East Nashville. Fox 17 News, Kathleen Jacob live there. Kathleen, tough to hear these stories. They are so emotional because they're so very personal.
Absolutely. I mean, these people have spent the majority of their lives here, and we are at this one house. We're at 19th and Holly. Check out this crib right here, a nursery that if they had not heard the cues and gotten down to their basement, look at that crib. I mean, they have a 1-year-old and a 9-year-old. They said that they heard the sirens going off 2 nights ago, but they, at first just thought, like many other people, that this was just one of the many different sirens that we hear in Nashville. But then they were like, all right, let's get down to the basement. Got down to the basement. They said, I don't know if you can see their basement down there, but they said they walked back up thinking maybe they had some damage to their roof. When they got up here, they were looking into their neighbor's home. They don't have walls. I mean, this section of their house is separated. It's not even, nothing is together. But this family that I talked to, thank God they are all okay. It's like I said, they have a 9-year-old and a 1-year-old. They were all in their basement for safety. They said they felt some shaking, but they didn't hear the train sound that a lot of people described. So they really didn't think it was going to be that bad until they walked up. They have also lived through Katrina and the 2010 floods. So at this point, they're very aware of, I guess, what matters. And they just said they still have smiles on their face somehow and are basically just saying, we are thankful to be alive. We are grateful that we have each other and these wonderful neighbors. They actually live right next door to Winston, who we introduced you to just a few moments ago. Winston's on the phone right now. I think someone's actually giving him a vehicle to help out. So amazing things. And we're seeing so many neighbors who are just helping neighbors and getting each other through this. I think a lot of what we've run into is everyone needs something different, or they don't even really know what they need because they don't know where to start. I mean, if you just look at this devastation, it's hard for anyone to know where to start or what to do. Another kind of, I don't want to say funny thing, but this family says that a couple years ago they built this deck that we're standing on right now, and they had made the joke, if there's a tornado that comes through, this will be the one thing standing. And sure enough, this is still standing. You can see this is probably the only stable part that we are able to be on. So just a lot of people very grateful for what they have, very grateful for their neighbors, for everyone helping out. Of course, this is something that will still be in East Nashville. A lot of devastation on this street alone, which is Holly and 19th. For now, I'm going to go ahead and send it to a break.
You're watching Fox 17 News.
And welcome back to Fox 17 News, ongoing coverage of the aftermath of the tornado. Meteorologist Alan Seals with us. Alan, we are lucky. 60s the normal high today. We're doing better.
We're doing very well, mid-60s, and also dry for several days. It could be a small chance for a shower in our southern counties tomorrow, but it won't be anything substantial.
Perfect. Glad to have you with us, manning the weather desk, and the people that are cleaning up certainly appreciate the weather. Right now, let's go live to Fox 17 News' Erica Glover in North Nashville, where the cleanup continues.
Well, Scott, we're just walking around North Nashville right now, talking with different volunteers who are hard at work, doing whatever they can to aid these homeowners who are trying to pick up the pieces, literally pick up the pieces. If we pan our camera over there, you can see these trees who have just really just collapsed onto homes. That's something that we're seeing on every block. Really, just about every block that we're walking around to. I'm going to stop one of these volunteers real quick and ask, are you just out here? Do you live in this community? Tell us how you're feeling.
We live in Antioch.
Yeah, and you're out here volunteering?
Yeah, just volunteering. Do anything we can do.
Right. And earlier we were out here with Mayor John Cooper, and we asked him about North Nashville, why this is so important. Listen to what he had to say. is often overlooked, correct?
It has been overlooked historically in Nashville, and it's really the strongest part of our community because it's really the strongest community in Nashville. So it's hard to have this happen here, and we need to replenish our community and go back and make it great. But there's no denying that historically North Nashville has not gotten the investment that it deserves, and it's going to be my job in the recovery to make sure that the recovery recognizes that.
So right now we're seeing volunteers who are, as you just heard, coming from Antioch, who are coming from different churches, who are coming over from Music Row. There's a large group that's gathering right here behind me, and they're really just from all over. So that's a good thing that we're seeing here in North Nashville, a community that is seeing a lot of volunteers who are coming in here at the moment, and it's really on every block. We have a lot of people with chainsaws. That's definitely going to be necessary. People with snacks, and right now we're heading back over to the church to again speak with the pastor and see what they're doing over there, the line of people that are donating items, then the line of people who are coming to pick up items that they need. And we're going to continue to be out here in North Nashville and to follow those stories from homeowners that need help and to speak with volunteers who are doing that, making it happen. Reporting live from North Nashville, I'm Erica Glover, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Erica, thank you. The devastation's certainly hard to look at, but I got to tell you, I'm excited to see so many volunteers, people that don't have necessarily a physical connection to one of these hard-hit areas, who are filling up their SUVs with water and supplies, bringing their gloves and their shovels and their saws, and they're coming to help. In the aftermath of the deadly tornado, Nashville Mayor John Cooper signed an executive order declaring, a state of emergency for Davidson County, and that will make it easier for us to qualify for state and federal aid, which will be needed in the coming days as these families rebuild. Now, in the wake of the strong storms, we want to make sure that people are protecting themselves, and that is to say we don't want them to fall victim to a scam. And unfortunately, despite all the love out there, there are unscrupulous people who are descending upon hard-hit areas like this, looking to line their pockets with your money. So if you aren't sure where monetary donations will go, first of all, don't give to any person or organization who may just be going door to door with a bucket saying, I want to help. That includes the ones that we have mentioned earlier in the newscast. Mayor John Cooper, for instance, is suggesting if you want to make a monetary donation, one place that you can donate and rest assured that that money will be used to help these victims is the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee. Many community foundations, we have one here in Middle Tennessee. They have so far taken in somewhere in the neighborhood of $640,000 to help these storm victims. Also, we're asking folks not to make any permanent repairs to your home or car until you get approval from your insurance company, because that could come back to bite you. If not approved, they may say, didn't do it right, you didn't do this, you didn't follow the procedure, we're not going to cover it. We want to make sure that your claims are covered properly and that your insurance company helps to make you whole. Also, help continues to flow into Nashville from other areas. Samaritan's Purse is now on its way to Mount Juliet and Cookeville this morning to help the homeowners who were affected by the deadly tornadoes there. This is a Christian organization that works with the Reverend Billy Graham's Foundation from over North Carolina. Well, President Donald Trump, as he said yesterday, his heart is with us, and he will be in Tennessee on Friday. He will be here to survey the damage firsthand. We heard from Putnam County authorities who believe that the president would be there on Friday. We don't know his exact itinerary, but expect it to include that area. He says that FEMA is already on the ground assisting families, and that he, the president, will be working with our governor, Bill Lee, when he arrives here again on Friday. We'll keep you posted about all the details and bring you that coverage. Now, while we are focused on tornado damage, the rest of the nation is also talking about the results from Super Tuesday. Tennessee and 13 other states went to the polls. Here in Tennessee, Democrat Joe Biden won that side of the primary, and President Donald Trump winning the Republican primary going away. The Democratic race now appears to be a two-man race between former Vice President Joe Biden and independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who, despite his being an independent, is vying for the Democratic nomination for president. Just this morning, Mike Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York City, who spent $500 million of his own money trying to really insert him into the race on Super Tuesday, his first real opportunity, has dropped out of the race despite saying he would continue 24 hours ago. Now, on the Republican side, President Trump is now just about 400 delegates away from clinching the GOP nomination for president, second term. That's our time for right now. Let's take a quick break. Our live team coverage continues through 7 o'clock. You're watching Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather station. It's 1:08. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Scott Couch. You are locked into continuing coverage of the aftermath of the tornadoes here on Fox 17. This is the latest look from the National Weather Service outage map. You see the dots on there and the various colors indicating the number. The green is the largest number of outages. 33,548 people still without power right now. We have some new information in that regard as well. NES has just informed us that the storm damaged or destroyed 600 power poles in its service area. They say that's 3 times more power poles than the 1998 tornado that ravaged East Nashville and also hit downtown. NES says that each of those will have to be replaced. Certainly going to take time. They have a supply. Do they have 600? Hard to believe they do. They are prioritizing restoring power to hospitals and other critical facilities like nursing homes and things like that first. They have called in 400 additional contract line workers from Kentucky, West Virginia, and some other parts of Tennessee to help with that because something like this is just too big for any one power company to do. Middle Tennessee Electric, who does business in Wilson and Rutherford County, some of the other counties, they have tens of thousands of people without power as well, and they're working around the clock as NES power crews are. Fox 17 News, Kathleen Jacob, live in very hard-hit East Nashville, which there is so many streets over there that don't have any electricity at all, and from the looks of things, it could be weeks, if not longer.
Yeah, from what I've heard at least 7 to 10 days. Now, we're on 19th and Holly still. I mean, it looks like a war zone. This is one of the homes you can see gutted from the inside. But check out this tree uprooted. They've hung an American flag there, so just showing their resilience. These people, everyone that I've met here, they've all been amazing. I mean, of course they're devastated, but they are banding together as neighbors and really helping each other out. I'll walk you guys down this way. We just met these 2 ladies with the shopping cart right here are from East Nashville. They just brought a cart down with kolaches and different pastries and stuff. They're giving them out to people. They're giving coffee. They're giving, like I said, those kolaches. They're giving water. They're giving granola bars, really just trying to help people with whatever they need. We've already showed you these 2 houses. This is one, we spoke to a man who, he and his wife were in their bedroom. We'll show you that mattress coming down here in just a second. In their bedroom, and they could, as soon as the tornado started, they thought that it was past them because they stopped hearing the sirens, and then all of a sudden they felt like a vacuum, he described it as, and you'll see his mattress pulling out from the side of the house. He said that he just dug his fingers into the mattress, held on to his wife, tried to make sure that she was okay, and he said that they just hung on for dear life. Thank God they are both okay. He, his wife, and his wife's daughter, they're all fine. They've lived in this house for 42 years. It was actually built in 1903, and they live at 1903 Holly Street. But of course, this is something that he's worked his entire life for, and it's devastating to watch him because he'll just look inside where he was lying yesterday on that mattress, and you can hear just the emotion in his voice and the gratitude that he has for his life and for his wife and for his neighbors. We also spoke to the family that lives in this home, where you can see, the entire top floor is gone. We'll show you more of the back of it a little bit later today. But this home, they have 2 kids, a 9-year-old and a 1-year-old. That 1-year-old was in its crib. That crib is now covered with debris. I mean, it's a miracle. They said that they were able to get their kids and their dogs, go down to their basement just in time when they walked back up, thinking that maybe they had some roof damage, not realizing what it was. They walked back upstairs and looked straight into their neighbor's house because they didn't have a top floor any longer. And that's the kind of thing that we're seeing all down this street. I mean, houses on both sides. It's like nothing that we've seen or that I have ever seen in my experience. But I will say that the one bright side to this is just how many neighbors have come together and are helping each other. We've seen A lot of people describing this as miracles in disguise because, of course, this is something that no one ever imagines. No one ever wants to put themselves or be in a spot like this. But they're banding together as neighbors and they're all helping each other out. And that has been the incredible thing to see. Live in East Nashville, Kathleen Jacob, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Kathleen, can you hear me? Looks like her earpiece was out. I was going to ask her a question. Kathleen, I just see you putting your earpiece in. Let me ask you, I could see from the pictures that you were sharing, there is some sort of a pinkish sign on some of the houses. What do those signs say?
Yeah. So those all say unsafe. I'm sorry, I'm hearing a really bad echo in my ear, so I'm having to pull my IFB out a little bit. But those signs they're just saying unsafe, uninhabitable. People are not allowed to stay there. And a lot of these people don't have a place to go. When we spoke to Winston a little bit earlier, he was saying he didn't know where they were going to go. Right now they're staying in a hotel, but he can't be in his house, yet he wants to be here protecting his belongings. Because another thing I'll show you really fast if you want to follow me, a lot of the belongings look like they're untouched. And the way that this tornado worked, it just, it ripped off walls, but you can still see the little figurines sitting on the shelves inside of this bedroom. It's just crazy. So they have a lot of belongings that are still okay, that are still good. A lot of, precious items that they really value and love. You can see the Bible on the table right here. And so a lot of these people are worried that that their stuff is vulnerable now because anyone can just walk into this area. But the good thing is we've seen a lot of neighbors looking out for each other. So they've been here keeping an eye on each other's homes, almost doing it in shifts each night, and they're just trying to find a way to get through. We have seen a couple people from insurance companies out here assessing damage already, but I know with Winston's home and with this home next door, they've both told me that they won't have anyone really to help until Saturday afternoon. So they are kind of just in it right now and trying to figure things out, and I think that's how a lot of people on the street are.
Unfortunately. Kathleen Jacob, live in East Nashville, thank you. So devastating to see. Alan, but again, we keep coming back to the fact that at least it's not raining right now while they have an opportunity to get in for those who can.
Not raining, winds are light, temperatures are pretty tolerable for being outdoors. And keep in mind, though, you've seen lots of video of people cleaning up. Take it slow, pace yourself. As much as people want to get this done quickly, it is a very slow process, and if you overdo it, you kind of can make those mistakes that can lead to some issues. And don't forget rusty nails and a tetanus shot. That's always a good thing after this sort of situation. The weather's good. We have filtered sunshine, so from time to time we go from being bright to halfway bright. And right now things are all the way dry as you look across downtown. That's the way we want things. Temperatures are still mid-60s, so they are a little bit above average, and tonight will be about average. If you are in Lewisburg, 62 degrees, compare that to 67 in Bowling Green, so mid-60s is good, and a light west wind. Still waiting on assessment from the National Weather Service on some of the tornadoes, the one in Putnam County, not yet rated or surveyed, and then the longer-term assessment of figuring out if all of these are connected or if they were separate tornadoes from one severe thunderstorm or was it multiple severe thunderstorms. Lots of mysteries. It's never as quick as you would hope it would be to figure out what actually happened. We do know some of our strongest tornadoes were EF3, winds of nearly 165 miles an hour. That is higher than a Category 5 hurricane, an extreme amount of wind. And when you think about it, most homes are really not built for wind blowing against the side. And unfortunately, even if your home is built that way, if your neighbor's home is compromised, you get debris moving at 165 miles an hour in the air. And that's what does further damage to buildings. We are quiet today. Our neighbors well to the south on the Gulf Coast have a risk of severe thunderstorms there, small risk of tornadoes, but all of that active weather will stay away from us, which is exactly what we want. It leaves us tonight with temperatures in the lower 40s, upper 30s as you get into southern Kentucky, places like Tullahoma, about 43 degrees for tonight. Winds will be light from the northwest. Here is your forecast map, and all you see is clouds. That's a good thing, going from mid-afternoon through the night. By 7 o'clock in the evening, still quiet here. One subtle change moving through the night and the morning rush hour. Clouds get a little thicker as you head down toward Alabama light rain there. So we have a possibility of a few light showers, basically Murfreesboro and southward. A few late tonight, early tomorrow. There you see a projection by noon tomorrow of a little rain over Tullahoma, but that would be very light, nothing too big, nothing substantial. And then we get another wind shift, and then temperatures go down. Here's your extended forecast. 61 tomorrow afternoon. On Friday, 53, but notice Friday night, 31. So we have a chill to start the weekend, but at the rate we're going, we are dry through Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday, we'll see the rain coming back with daytime highs in the mid-60s.
Alan, thank you. We've just learned from Metro that Holy Rosary Academy Catholic Church and a school in Donaldson, where a shelter has been set up, being shut down and moved to Smith Springs Community Center in South Nashville. Our coverage of this disaster continues right after this. You're watching Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather station. It's 1:22. Welcome back. I'm Scott Couch. We are continuing through 7 o'clock tonight to chronicle the aftermath of the tornadoes that hit early yesterday morning. Fox 17 News anchor Stacy Case down in Germantown now. Stacy, so cool to see characters like Matthew Charles that we've come to know in the last year or so stepping up to help. So many, stories to tell and so much goodness coming out.
Really is. This brings out the best in people. We see that every time there is a natural disaster like this. For those of you who didn't see it earlier, Matthew Charles was out here. He is, of course, the convicted drug dealer, nonviolent drug dealer who was sentenced to nearly 2 decades in prison for this nonviolent crime and was freed last year by President Trump. And as part of the criminal justice reform that we've seen President Trump and his platform do so much for. So we did have him on earlier. He went out and rented a chainsaw this morning. He's been out here chopping down trees all day. Want to show you over in this direction here. We have people walking down the street with shopping carts. They're gathering debris. They have their gloves on and they're just cleaning up as they go, and they will haul that trash away with them. So every little bit helps, as you can see. Another new development today here on Monroe Street is 2 lanes are open now. So yesterday it was closed until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they were finally able to get 1 lane open, get enough debris cleared so 1 lane could get open. People could get out of their homes and back in if they needed to. And now both lanes are open. So progress, slowly but surely, we are seeing progress. Over in this direction, you see big mound of debris and limbs and fences, and this is really the scene repeated block after block after block here in Germantown as crews come out and volunteers and try to just gather all of this mess and put it into these heaping piles, and then at some point Public Works will be by to clear it all away. And so this is just a step-by-step process. I want to introduce you to Aaron. We met Aaron out here. So Aaron, you are a resident of this neighborhood here in Germantown.
Yes. We're here just trying to help all the people that live here that need help.
Yeah, so your house is okay. Did you ride out the tornado inside?
Yes, we did. We woke up by the tornado. We were sound asleep, and the sound of a freight train that was the loudest thing I've ever heard shaking our house. Scary, 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 but thank the Lord, we're safe. Our family's safe. We got a lot of people out of their houses that night, and we're safe, but there's needs here, and so we're here to try to help everybody.
Okay, I got to tell you a little secret about Erin. She doesn't want me to tell you this, but she is a bad mamma jamma. Okay, she's a Marine, and also 2 tours in Iraq, and I don't even know what else. Oh, personal trainer in Nashville. So you don't want to mess with her. If she says it was scary, it was scary.
But it was scary. It was definitely, I try to just put it in a laughter. That's kind of how I deal with stress. But
me too. I do the same thing.
I can just laugh about it. I'm like, oh, but terrifying and just pulling babies out of the windows, and I'm just like, oh my God, where do these families go? They have nothing.
Yeah.
And so I've done everything I could to try to help and support all these people.
Okay, so show us here, since you are a personal trainer in Nashville, you have clients, and they just started showing up. They came strong.
I have the best clients ever. They brought the table, the tent. They brought lots of donuts in for everybody, tons and tons of water. We had hundreds of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. One of my other clients just went and got burgers for everybody. And then look at all the stuff that's been dropped off just by amazing people. I mean, Nashville has the best community. Good people supporting good people.
Absolutely. We were just saying a second ago, this really does bring out the best in people. Natural disasters, hard times, neighbor to neighbor, and just one small act of kindness at a time.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, nothing makes my heart more full than seeing other people helping other people.
Yeah, it's great to see. All right, but big delivery coming tonight of flashlights. That is key out here, because once that sun goes down, it is super dark here.
Yeah, but you don't think about it, because what do we use for flashlights? We use our cell phones. Well, guess what? We can't charge here because we don't have cell phones because there's no electricity. Right. So flashlights and batteries is what I have a bunch of people bringing in now to try to help everybody, because we don't know how long we're going to be without power. I'm going to guess it's going to be a little bit, but we'll see. So we're going to have batteries, flashlights. I have a generator coming in so we can actually charge cell phones here soon, because people are trying to call Red Cross and their cell phones are dead. And so we actually have our car just running, charging people's cell phones in our car. So the generator will be cool here when it gets here soon.
That'll be great. And that's coming tonight?
Yeah, it should be here in the next 30 minutes.
Awesome. Good. Okay, I have an update for you and everybody else at home from NES. Nashville Electric Service does have an update for us. Okay, just to put this in perspective, we had about 200 power poles down during the 1998 tornado. We have 600 down during this tornado. So you can just imagine the type of work that's going to take to basically put all of that infrastructure back together and repair all of that.
I wonder how long it's going to take.
Okay, well, here's what we found out. They're hoping by Monday to have power restored. Today is Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, so by Monday. So that's a long time. 33,000 people still without power. They're going to work on the hospitals first, because, of course, they have to operate on generators.
As they should. They should.
Right. They do have help from 400 extra crews that came in from Kentucky, West Virginia, other parts of Tennessee, so that's good.
So, yes, there's so many, and it's amazing. And I was like, please, come get food. We got food for you guys. We're here to support all of you guys, and we appreciate every one of you coming in and helping us.
Isn't that great? I mean, it's like the cavalry.
I love it so much. I love it. Yeah, so I was like, I took off work yesterday. Today, I'm taking off one more day just to stay out here and help people.
Love it. Thank you so much. They're going to repair the substations and transmission lines. So that estimate of Monday, again, NES said that is an estimate only, just an estimate. They said it's not a promise, but they are working around the clock and they're trying. Thanks for all you're doing, Aaron. Thank you for your service to our country, and keep up the great work.
No problem. Thank you so much.
All right. For now, I'm Stacey Case reporting live in Germantown, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Stacey, thank you. So odd. You think about these victims. What day is this? You have to think about that. When you're not working, you don't have power, and all the things that normally remind you of what day it is. My goodness. Well, the National Hockey League is among the entities stepping up to lend a helping hand to our Nashvillians who are in need. The Minnesota Wild, one of our rivals, just announced a $25,000 team donation, as well as another $25,000 donation from the team's owner, Craig Leopold, and his wife, Helen, who tried to move the team from Nashville away a few years ago before they got a franchise of their own. The NHL has also announced it would match the combined $50,000 donation. So right there, just between the NHL and some of its partners, that's $100,000 to help our families battle back. And our rivals, the Chicago Blackhawks, are also donating to Tennessee disaster relief. A portion of their Split the Pot proceeds this week will benefit tornado relief efforts here in Middle Tennessee, and we are grateful. Well, there is another area that we are really getting a better look at today than we did yesterday. That is North Nashville. Fox 17 News' Harriet Wallace there now. Harriet?
Yeah, that's right. Back here at Lee Chapel in North Nashville, where folks are coming to get these bags. They've got really the essentials. They've got paper towels. They've got some candles in here. And what's really important, batteries, among many things that they're taking away here for their family, again, affected by the tornado. And just take a look right over here. We've got a lot of goodies for folks, or not even goodies, but necessities for people who, again, whose homes are destroyed or impacted by the storm. I do have with me now Representative Harold Love, who's also senior pastor here, again, at Lee Chapel on DB Tide. Pastor Love, tell us, what has been the greatest need you're seeing so far in the North Nashville area?
Because of the power outage, we have a lot of people looking for flashlights, flashlight batteries, of course, non-perishable food items is always key. And just the comfort of knowing that the community is here to help and support them. Councilman Brandon Taylor's done a great job organizing folks. We've come together here to work at Lee Chapel to bring in volunteers. And so that's also what's been go out and say we're here to help them.
One of the things that we noticed yesterday that there wasn't seemingly as much attention or support services in the North Nashville area. Talk to us about what North Nashville needs but hasn't gotten or is getting now.
So the lights are on at Lee Chapel. That's because of the partnership we have with the mayor's office to have a generator running our church right now because there's still no power in North Nashville. So that's been a tremendous boost to help bring folks in to say we have a place we can charge your phones so they can communicate with family and friends and know that they are safe and help coordinate efforts. And so I'm grateful for Eric Brown. I'm grateful for Brandon Taylor coming in, Tanika Vercha, Zolfat, Councilor who came in and helped us out, Charlene with Equity Alliance, and all the volunteers who come in and say, we're going to make sure North Nashville is taken care of. So thankful the mayor's office brings a generator to help us be up and running. And you see the volunteers helping right now to stuff these bags.
And the mayor did come by and do a visit with the facility here. Talk to us, lastly, Representative Pastor Love here. The community has really come together, and within hours, this church is full of things that people need. What does this say about North Nashville and the spirit here?
It speaks to the resiliency of North Nashville, speaks to the fact that we'll take care of our neighbors. But I do want to say that when we talk about this area of town, we know all the issues that have come along with the interstate dividing the neighborhood with issues of unemployment and crime that have historically plagued the community. I do want to say also, when we talk about NES getting power back on for the rest of the city, don't forget North Nashville. All right, don't go and get power on some places and prioritize that when you can see in North Nashville people are suffering. My power's still off, right? And I'm not going to let my neighbors continue to suffer like this. And so that's what I want everybody to hear is NES needs to give us some reassurance about what the procedure and schedule is for North Nashville along with the rest of the city.
Okay. All right, well, you heard it there. There is the appeal for the need, which is really great and widespread throughout the Middle Tennessee area. But again, there's cleanup happening, donations, and folks coming to get what they need. We are here at Lee Chapel in North Nashville. Harriet Wallace, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Harry, thank you. Airbnb is offering free temporary housing for some of the storm victims impacted by the tornado that ripped through our area. There are homes available, according to Airbnb, in Benton County, which was the first to be hit, Carroll County, which is over in the western part of the viewing area, Davidson County, Nashville, of course, Wilson County, which includes Lebanon, Mount Juliet, those areas, Watertown, Putnam, and Gibson counties as well, all here in the mid-state. You can check out the free housing available with a link that we have for you to Airbnb. You can find that at our website, fox17news.com. And if you need help, and we know there are many, like gentlemen we heard from over in East Nashville earlier, just trying to figure out what to do next, we've got a full list of resources for you on our website. You can find phone numbers and web addresses, everything from the Red Cross, the Nashville Electric Service, the local sheriff's departments in the various counties that you may need. You can find all that at fox17.com. And as always, if you have an emergency where you need emergency help right now, of course, you can call 911. Let's take a quick break. Our coverage continues. We are live through 7 o'clock. You're watching Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather station. Welcome back to Fox 17 News, continuing coverage of the aftermath of the tornadoes. This is a Fox 17 News sky eye shot over the Hermitage area. Got in there today. This is the Kroger. That's a bank building. You can see damage, a number of businesses there. Lost parts of their roofs, in some cases even more damage. This is off of Old Hickory Boulevard, just off of I-40 as the storm stomped some of the buildings here on its way over to Wilson County. Fifth Third Bank and the Petco among those with the roofs ripped off. Cars in the parking lot of the Kroger store flipped over from the tornado, and we know the kind of force that it takes to do that. Fox 17 News' Kathleen Surrey joins us live. Tell us exactly where you are and what you're seeing.
Well, Scott, right now we are in Hermitage. We are standing on Albee Road, which is just off of Dodson Chapel. We're not too far away from that Kroger that you were mentioning that was heavily damaged, but right now we are in a neighborhood, and nearly all of these homes have just been completely devastated. This entire street, this entire block is just in shambles right now. If we can have my photographer look over to the right, you can see this home over here. It doesn't even look like a home anymore. It was completely taken off of its foundation. Just so much damage over here, and all of these neighbors are just coming together right now to make sure that they can kind of rebuild this community and do whatever they can. I mean, you can just see these homes, the roofs taken off, the walls are completely smashed in, there is debris everywhere. There are still vehicles who are trying to get through right now, trying to help. This is just a really big community effort right now. So right now we are joined with Nathan. He is a volunteer who actually doesn't live in this area, but you've been helping out over here. Tell me what you've been seeing from these neighbors today.
Everybody's really been helping out. Tons of people came over from everywhere. I had some people from my high school, McGavick High School. They came over, helped us out. There's a lot of the teachers. We had a ton of people that didn't even from around here helping out. People were giving out food over by Dotson Chapel over there to everybody that was helping out. I've been here since around 10 o'clock this morning, just helping out wherever I can, walking up everywhere.
What was your reaction when you saw all of this damage?
It's crazy. I've never seen anything like this in Nashville before. I've been here for all my life. So it's nuts. But, yeah.
Yeah. And this entire area, you know, we just have so many homeowners living over here. What have they been saying to you as you've been helping out?
Well, they've just been thanking me whenever I can. I haven't really been talking to many people. I've just sort of been trying to go in and help out, pitch in, just whenever I can.
Well, Nathan, thank you so much for talking with us. We just heard from a volunteer who's helping out in this area. Again, this is Hermitage on Albee Avenue. We still have a lot of damage that we haven't even been able to get to down this road. So we are going to stay on top of that and come back to you with continuing coverage as we continue following the destruction of this tornado. Reporting live in Hermitage, Kathleen Suri, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Kathleen, thank you. Another of the areas that we haven't seen until today. North Nashville is an area that we really got into today that we were not able to fully get into yesterday. That is among the areas that State Representative Harold Love Jr. advocating for, trying to really put the pressure on the mayor and the National Electric Service to let them know when the power will be restored. We're hearing now that they are hoping to get everybody back on by Monday. They can't absolutely guarantee it, but that is the goal for right now. Fox 17 News, Erica Glover, live in North Nashville. Erica, are people getting that word that NES is hoping to have the power there restored by Monday?
Well, Scott, that is something that I'm hearing, but again, they're just remaining hopeful, holding out for the best. Really, that's all they can do. But I am smiling at the moment because right now we're standing outside of Lee Chapel, I should say, in North Nashville. And I'm smiling because a couple came up to me. They drove here from Jolton because they saw that our interview this morning with Pastor Love here at Lee Chapel, and they said, hey, we want to get involved, we want to volunteer. So they drove from Jolton here to do just that. I'm going to show you what's going on behind me and try to stay out of the way as much as possible. We have people who are pulling their car up, so we do have a little bit of traffic, but that's a good thing because we have people who are dropping off donations that they picked up from Costco, from Target, toilet paper, diapers, chips. You can see batteries. People are pulling in here, dropping off items. We also have the American Red Cross who just pulled up. Move out of your way, I'm sorry. And then also you have people who are pulling up who are in need. And when they are in need, they can grab one of these bags. You can tell them what you need. The bags, they have bread, they have Pringles, they have soup, pies, goldfish, whatever you need, they have them in these bags, the bare necessities. They also have a bag of toiletry items with toothpaste, toilet tissue, toothbrushes, those kind of things. They're also accepting donations here, again, at Lee Chapel in North Nashville. The volunteers here are happy to be making a difference. I'm going to grab one of these volunteers real quick. Come on, come on. We just want to ask, what can people get when they come here as far as water and those necessities? Are there any limits to that?
No, there aren't any limits. You can get waters, general cleaning supplies, baby supplies, just all kind of stuff.
How do you feel giving back to this community? Because we're seeing a lot of people line up here.
Oh, that's what we do. We give back. That's why I'm glad to be part of it.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks for speaking with us. I also want to point out quickly that right across the street, ML Rose has a food truck out here. They're giving away free hamburgers, free hot dogs, French fries. People are lining up for that. This is along Dr. D.B. Todd Boulevard here in North Nashville, so be patient if you are driving in this area. You are going to see a lot of traffic, but that's good because people are lining up again, dropping off donations and then accepting donations for those in need. And just want to mention it one more time, Lee Chapel here in North Nashville. All that information we have on the Fox Nashville Facebook page. Reporting live from North Nashville, Erica Glover, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Erica, thanks so much. It's so great to see that. I live in Hendersonville on the outskirts of it, and I have a friend who lives near me, African-American man, who believes so strongly that his children should be exposed to a strong African-American church every Sunday and on Wednesday nights too. They drive down to Lee's Chapel AME Church, Pastor Love's church there, to take part. And that is just a vibrant church in that community, and their pastor advocating for them, and glad to be able to bring you that story. Well, something that Erica just mentioned, traffic is an issue in that whole part of North Nashville, the Germantown area, Metro Center, East Nashville. Not only is the power out, but in many of those hard-hit areas where they normally have traffic lights, all the traffic lights are out. It's been confusing for some people. Just a reminder, if you go into one of these areas to take some supplies, to do some volunteer work, treat every intersection where there is a stoplight like a four-way stop. I had to go through a couple of those to get to our offices here in Metro Center today. We're operating on generator power. We are out of power as well, essentially. But pull up there, everybody takes a turn, treat it like a four-way stop. It may take you a little longer, but fairly efficient, and it certainly is safe. Now, several area schools are closed as they try to assess the severity of the damage caused by the tornadoes. We certainly got that here in Nashville. Wilson County had a couple of schools particularly hard hit. Right now, we can tell you that Stoner Creek Elementary in the Mount Juliet area, West Wilson Middle School, also the Mount Juliet area in Wilson County, have announced they will be closed for the rest of the year. That doesn't mean the kids are off the hook by any stretch of the imagination. The district is now working to come up with a plan to find a place where these students can safely finish out the last couple of months of this school year. We'll keep you posted on that. Meanwhile, Mount Juliet Christian Academy, Christian school in that area, will be closed for the rest of the week. I saw a car today with a Mount Juliet Christian sticker on it and thought about the damage they had over there. Let's take a quick break. You're watching Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather station. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Scott Couch. It is 1:48. This is drone video from the Lebanon Police Department illustrating some of the widespread damage that they had there. Wilson County schools closed for the rest of the week. A couple of schools there, Stoner Creek Elementary and West Wilson Middle School, closed for the rest of the year. And it's because of damage like this at those schools. We got this video from the Lebanon Police Department using their drone. This is one of the warehouses over in that area, and one of the fatalities in Wilson County. There was a couple in Mount Juliet and a security officer who was on the job at one of these industrial sites that lost her life. And this is out there right beside the interstate. So much damage in all of these counties. Look at the roof there. That's going to take quite a long time. Looks like it's collapsed on part of it, and part of it just peeled off. Alan Seals, a meteorologist from one of our sister stations, helping us out during our time of need live in the weather area.
And happy to say the weather is calm, peaceful, and dry. We've got some high clouds, not rain clouds, as you look toward downtown, and the temperatures have cooperated. Mid-60s in most spots. A little lower if you're down toward the Alabama line, because the clouds are a little bit thicker there. But otherwise, a pretty decent afternoon. The rain stays to our south today. Now, overnight into tomorrow, we could see an isolated sprinkle. And here you see the radar overestimating what's in the clouds. It sees the moisture in the clouds. It thinks it's rain, but it's not rain. Here's what we do know, that we had a bunch of tornadoes overnight. Last night, rated anywhere from EF1 in Smith County up to EF3 in Donaldson, also EF3 in East Nashville. And when you're talking tornadoes that strong, the wind speeds between 135, 165 miles an hour. We've seen video and pictures of incredible damage from that sort of wind. And when you talk about the wind, you also have to talk about the force of the wind. It makes a big difference. On a day like today, we have a 10-mile-an-hour wind. And if that force is 1, when you double it, the force quadruples. quadruples. So by the time you get to a 40-mile-an-hour wind, the force is 16 times greater than a 10-mile-an-hour wind. And look way down there at the bottom. For a wind of 160 miles an hour, the force is 256 times greater than the type of wind we are dealing with today. And that kind of explains why you can get incredible damage. Our temperatures tonight, lower 40s, which is not bad, all things considering. You will get some upper 30s if you're in southern Kentucky, and we'll go through the night with some clouds, but not rain clouds. Late tonight, though, that's 7 o'clock this evening, late tonight into early tomorrow, maybe a passing sprinkle for those of you in the far southern areas. Overall, though, your extended forecast looks pretty good. We're dry through the weekend. We do have a chill Friday and Saturday, especially Friday night. And then Monday and Tuesday of next week, get ready for scattered showers.
Alan, thank you. For those just tuning in, the death toll from this tornado continues to stand at 24. You fear with each new day as new tornado sites, homes and businesses that have been hit, that maybe the death toll will rise. So far, that has not been the case. Authorities are hoping in Putnam County, the hardest hit, where 18 people died, to have cleared all the homes and businesses damaged with a personal inspection by the end of business today. We will keep you posted. Our coverage continues right after a break. You're watching Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather station. Welcome back, everybody. It is 1:55. This is a picture of some of the tornado victims, 3 of them, all members of the same family in Putnam County. This is Josh, Aaron, and Sawyer Kimberlin. Mr. Sawyer, Josh, is from Ooltewah, which is in the Bradley-McMinn County area just north of Chattanooga. They moved sometime in the last year or so over to Putnam County. That's where they are living now, and that sweet family is among the victims. Yesterday, we learned that among the 18 victims in Putnam County, there were children. This is obviously one of those, and this sweet young family among those who are being mourned tonight. Well, right now we'd like to show you some drone footage of another hard-hit area. This is Mount Juliet, the Lebanon areas, incredibly hard hit. You can see the trail of the tornado just strafing a neighborhood, and this industrial area just off of the interstate in Wilson County. We know 3 people were killed in Wilson County, including a husband and wife in Mount Juliet and a security officer who was on the job overnight at one of these industrial sites when the tornado hit. You can see the debris widespread, the damage easily into the millions, if not billions of dollars across the 4 hard-hit counties in Tennessee. In fact, I would say it would definitely be in the billions of dollars. It'll take some time, a lot of time to build back. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier yesterday shared with us a story of a Mount Juliet family who was so lucky to be alive. Dennis, tell us where you are today.
Well, I believe that you were just looking at some drone video right around West Wilson Middle School. We're about a mile west of that in Pleasant Grove. And I heard you just talking about all those poor children that died in Putnam County. This is also the site where the elderly couple died, the Eatons, 81 and 84 years old. They both died in their sleep. They never woke up. Roof collapsed. They were in their bed when they died. They live down here at the end of the block. I want to show you a little bit. You can really see how tornadoes work, at least on the ground right now. If you look down here at this house, you can see the path. Okay, the tornado comes and kind of touches, tears up a roof, then it hopscotches over the next house, then it...
We're talking live with Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier, who is in the Pleasant Grove area of Wilson County. Hard hit. We're having some technical difficulties, obviously stretched a little thin, the signal weak. We'll try to get back with Dennis in just a few minutes. But right now, we will continue our coverage after a break. You're watching Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather station.